Sea Monkey, written by Sophie Masson, illustrated by Kathy Creamer and published by Little Pink Dog Books. Sea Monkey was such a lively picture book manuscript to illustrate. I read the story quite a few times to get an idea of how the words would flow over 32 pages. This is the scribbly part where I divide up the text to work with the first pictures I have in my imagination. I pick out the important page turns in a narrative action and work out where there should be double page spreads, single page illustrations or vignettes. But all this can keep changing as you work through the whole process. When I've completed the page numbering of the manuscript, I go on to sketch rough ideas of how the characters might look. It's good to draw from various viewpoints and different angles until you are familiar with how your character looks. You will probably fill a whole sketchbook developing your characters. I certainly do. I decided on Monkey being an orange striped character, and the front cover began to take shape in my sketchbook. I took my inspiration for his character from a much-loved soft toy monkey that one of Sophie's little grandchildren owned. Storyboards. Working in my sketchbook once again, I draw out the 32 little boxes for my thumbnail scribbles of ideas for the sequential images. This can be really rough, but as long as you know what's there, that's all that matters. It's amazing how some of these tiny sketches of initial ideas will develop into final artwork. When I'm happy with the storyboard, I make up a dummy book with 16 sheets of drawing paper, folded in the middle, and then number them from 1 to 32. Using the storyboard as reference, I begin sketching out the visual narrative and placing the text where I think it should go. I can work on this for months, changing things around to create dynamic interaction between word and picture. I love visual narrative, and I sometimes like to look for areas within the story where a visual narrative can work completely by itself, thus adding more to the storyline without the need for words. I also like to employ white space around the picture image to help reveal action and movement. White space also helps to define the shapes on the page. As I'm working through my storyboard and creating the rough draft illustrations, I find myself changing my initial ideas as I develop what goes where, and I try to create a balance between word and picture. And my initial ideas will change again and again as I crop in close for drama and change of pace. Some pages will be very simple, while others will become rather complex. When I'm happy with how the words and pictures work over 32 pages, I start to refine the rough illustrations. Using the photocopier, I enlarge the illustrations by 20% and print them out. Then, using a lightbox, I lightly trace the images onto watercolour paper, and then work them up to final line artwork. Using watercolour and colour pencil, the long and joyful process of colouring in finally begins. The painting process can take me anything between 6 to 9 months to complete, although I do try to work faster for shorter deadlines. As I finish each piece of artwork, I check for colour consistency. I always try to keep characters and action away from the middle section of a double page spread, as when the book is printed you will lose detail in the gutter. This illustration shows action which crosses over that middle section but keeps well away from it by following the movement of the text. Oops, monkey! In this illustration, you can see how the use of white space defines visual action and highlights the text. At last, the final piece of colour illustration is finished and scanned, and text is placed where it should go, and the files are sent to the printer. Goodbye, monkey. Can't wait to see you again soon.